What is up, guys? It is TheCitrusPanda here today, and I'm coming at you with a review for episode 4, yeah, there we go, of World Trigger. So let's do this. Okay, so in this episode, we've got quite a few things going on, actually, and this is, by the way, the end of the first novel, well, first light novel, first manga volume. So the first volume of manga has now been covered, and I'm assuming it's gapped a little bit into volume 2 of the manga. I've only read volume 1, so from here on out, pretty much like the last 10 or 15 minutes of this episode, I had never seen before. So we're to the point where every single episode is just going to be like off my field of view. I don't know what's going to be happening. Up to this point, I kind of knew what was happening, but now I'm not going to be able to compare the two. I'm just going to be watching the anime for now until farther notice. So in this episode at the beginning, Kitora, I don't even know her last name or her first name, how you want to do it, but her name is and she is the girl who's, all uptight about the rules, and I want Osamu to be punished because, it kind of makes sense for him to be punished in a couple ways. One, he actually would have gotten himself killed. He would have saved everybody, but then if Yuma wasn't there to actually save him, then he would have died. So he would have saved people, but he would have died. The thing is that, say that they did reward Osamu for saving all these kids, the double-edged sword there is that what if a bunch of other C-rank agents, see this kind of situation arising, and then they think, well, maybe I can save these people. But if Yuma wasn't there, he wouldn't have been able to save himself. So, in general, I think border agents are usually, pretty strong they're strong enough to actually save people. Maybe not themselves, but they're going to be able to save people. And that we'll go into more detail later in this episode about why I think this and why I almost think they're trained to save people, especially the C-rank agents. So Osamu's combat ability isn't the best, and he would have gotten himself killed, but he did save everybody. So Yuma even said to him, I didn't save those people. I didn't save the kids. You saved them, but I saved you. So in a roundabout way, Yuma kind of saved the day, but overall, without Osamu, those kids would have died, and Yuma wouldn't have anybody to save because Osamu would have been, elsewhere. So in general, Osamu still did save the kids, even though it doesn't seem like it, he did. Anyway, from there, Arashiyama, I think his name is, the leader of the squad, is saying that he doesn't want his punishment to be too much, but he has to leave it up to the higher-ups. So he goes ahead and then just says, can you show up there? Osamu's like, yeah, I'll show up there. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go get my punishment. Also, then, Yuma brings up a pretty good point. He's basically arguing with who's the border agent, the uptight person. And is talking about, you can't use the triggers without the border permission. And, well, Yuma didn't like that too much, because the way that he saw it is that, well, you ask the neighbors every single time that you use their technology. See, the neighbors originally created the triggers. They're actually belonging to the neighbors themselves. The border agents are just using neighbor technology, so it's not really like it's theirs. It's theirs now because they stole it, basically. But to begin with, it was the neighbors. So, do they go and ask them every time? Nah, they never even asked them to begin with. So, he brought up a pretty good point, but he is arguing. I don't know, I love how Yuma he just argues with people, and he just messes with their mind. He does the thing with his eyes, where he can actually, I'm pretty sure at this point in the show that he actually can tell if people are lying or not. I don't know, they've never actually confirmed it or anything like that, but I think in general, I think it's a well-known fact because his eyes always move, and then he's like, you're a bad liar, or something like that. So, comes back to the school later to pick up Osamu so that it can go to base and get, the punishment, which I'm not really sure what the punishment is going to be, if I have to guess. It's probably going to be maybe a medium punishment, or, maybe no punishment at all. I'm not sure. Maybe, he'll actually get promoted. Maybe he'll be put onto a new squad and he'll get new triggers and stuff like that. I don't know. But as they are walking forward towards the HQ, Yuma catches up with them, and all of a sudden, boom, this thing comes out of nowhere. It is a neighbor, and this particular neighbor is actually pretty rare. It's used for bombing. So it's a bomber. It is something that I have never seen before. It sounds like I'm saying the character in the show, had never seen before. And she was surprised about it, but she was all for it. She was gonna go get it because she's an A-rank agent, and she's gonna go get it. Osama also says, I'm gonna get it too. He takes out his trigger, actually, to go fight, but he's out of Tryon. His Tryon levels have decreased to the point where he can't use them anymore, and he just isn't able to, so she runs off. She's like, oh, C-rank agent, that's normal for a C-rank agent, you know, it's just those C-rank agents, they can't do anything, they run out of Tryon, I hate you guys. But anyway, she jumps off. Yuma asks Osamu what he's going to do, and Osamu does a pretty sensible thing. Originally, I thought maybe he was just going to go straight to HQ, but what he does is he goes into the town and starts to save people. Because although he doesn't have his trigger to fight with, he still has the suit that enhances his strength and stuff. So he was actually able to pick up boulders and actually shield people from rubble and save quite a few people. Moving on though, he's in the city, and back a couple 5 minutes ago. Let's go back 5 minutes. We're turning the tables back. Replica, the little thing that follows Yuma around, actually gets kind of like a clone of himself and puts it onto Osamu. And Osamu, go back to the present now, Osamu is trying to save a couple people that are inside this one thing, and he can't pick up this column, it looks like a big column, and he's trying to pick it up, but he can't pick it up. The little clone thing is behind Osamu, tells Replica, the original one, that Osamu needs some help. So I'm like, well, how is Yuma going to help him? But how that actually works is really cool, and I think if they keep using this whole idea throughout the show, they can make some pretty cool things happen. Basically, Yuma was able to transfer some of his Tryon energy to Osamu, and then make him be able to pick it up. So once the energy was transferred, and he gave Osamu a bunch more energy. I think he got double the energy because it was double, and this wall thing came out behind Osamu, this purple. Oh no, it was blue, and it was kind of a little pattern that came out behind him, gave him power. He picked it up, he got it away, and I really like that mechanic because I think it can be used. I don't know if they're going to continue to use it because in some shows they introduce a mechanic and then they don't ever use it again. I'd like to see it used again though because it's cool. I like it. It's actually pretty awesome. Because, later in the series, maybe for a large majority, or, maybe not, a large majority of the coming episodes, especially since Yuma hasn't, nobody knows about him, I think eventually people will figure out about Yuma, and I think he might even join Mortar. But, before that, maybe, Yuma can work, for Osamu, kind of. Osamu can go into battle, but then Yuma can give him power or something. That could work decently well. But in general, this episode was pretty good. It ended where I was up on the big bomber guy, and I forget his name. It started with an I, but the big bomber neighbor, and she almost got blown up, but she has a shield because, she's actually a high-ranking agent. She knows how things work, kind of. Even though she's never fought it before, she's adapting quickly. And do I think she can actually beat it by herself? I think she has a possibility of beating it by herself. Yuma might have to step in, maybe give her some power somehow. I'm not sure, though, because she has no clone or replica on her. But maybe she can do it. Maybe she can't. But until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Still don't know how to end the video.